What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now this is going to be my status effect crit build. Don't get it confused with my status effect DPS build. Now the DPS build, I had 61% status effect and 100k base damage. This one has 54 status effect, but I have max crit and I have 100k base damage. So I think that this one is actually a little bit stronger than my previous status effect build, and I'll explain to you guys why. If that sounds good, buckle up, and yeah, let's get into it. So this is my status effect crit build. Now I'll let you guys look over that for a second, and I will go ahead and explain it. Starting off with the specialization, I am using the firewall specialization for the burn duration, for the sidearm, which I'll talk about here in a second, and yeah, that's actually probably the only two reasons. The rest of it's okay, but the burn duration is what I'm taking full advantage of, and then also that sidearm is pretty nice to have as well. You could probably use this with the survivalist specialization and utilize that incendiary grenade. I wish that the incendiary grenade was on this specialization because it's all about fire, but for some reason it's not. So that is why I'm using that specialization. The weapons, I'm using the Grudge as my primary. This one has max crit chance and some pretty nice crit damage for what I'm running with my high status effects. For my secondary, I'm using the Pyromaniac for obvious reasons. This is a status effect build and I'm getting them on burn quite a bit, so using the Pyromaniac is the way to go. You get that extra 25% and just melt whatever's in front of you. And then for the sidearm, again, like I was talking about, the Fire Starter, that is the named sawed-off double barrel that comes with the firewall specialization. And what's cool about this is it comes with primer rounds. So damaged enemies lose 50% of their burn resistance for 5 seconds. So say my cooldown on my holster is about to come up, I can switch to my sidearm, hit them once, they'll run around the corner to try to heal up, and then as soon as my holster procs, their burn resistance goes out the window and all of a sudden they're dead. It's pretty nice. Now let's get in more depth with these weapons. So my primary, the Grudge, is your named Banshee SMG. The reason why I'm using this is for that talent Perfect Vindictive. If I kill an enemy with a status effect that is applied to them, I gain 18% crit chance and 18% crit damage for 20 seconds. Now I am already running max crits. I can't really change that with the mods I have, and I'll show you in a second, but this definitely helps out. Now I am at 100.5 total damage, 15% SMG damage, 17% crit chance, and 9% damage to targets out of cover. So yes, this weapon could get better, but with RNG, it is the best it's going to get. Now for the mods, like I was saying earlier, I'm running crit damage mods. I have max crit chance, and I can't really put more crit damage on here because it's a status effects build. So for the Russian Red Dot on the optic, that gives me 5% crit damage. For the Flash Hider, the muzzle, I get another 5% crit damage, but the laser pointer I have to run crit chance. If you guys look on here, I don't really need accuracy or stability, so just go with crit chance, why not? And then for the mag, I have the extended 9mm mag, which brings my magazine size up to 52 rounds. Now for the secondary, alright, so for the secondary, I'm using the Pyromaniac. 92.7k total damage. That's with 14% AR damage, 18% health damage, and 10% damage to targets out of cover. This comes with perfectly ignited, like I was saying earlier. It deals 25% more damage to burning targets. After 3 kills, it automatically applies a burn to the next target you hit. That will surprise you, and it's a great surprise when it happens. Now as far as the mods, crit chance all across the board because it's a AR and it doesn't hold as much crit as the SMG. So rugged mini reflex for 5%, laser pointer for another 5, and that muzzle brake for another 5. So I have 15% crit chance just on the attachments. Now for the magazine, I have the sturdy extended mag, 20 round plus, so it brings my magazine size up to 50 rounds. And then for that sidearm, like I was saying earlier, the fire starter, we already went over the talent. But remember, this one comes with 1.3 million total damage, and that's with 11% shotgun damage and 7.5% health damage. So not even close to maxed out. Alright, now talking about this build. I have a little bit less status effects from my other build. That's because I am not running Wyvernware. However, I do have status effects on more pieces than I did before. So instead of having that 61% like I did in my last build, this time I have 54%. Now that is with 1 Golden Gear, 1 Seska, 2 Sokolov Concern, 1 Fenris, and then of course the exotic holster, the Imperial Dynasty. Starting off with the mask. Fenris mask. So from the brand set bonus I get 10% AR damage. Core attribute came with 15% weapon damage, crit chance at 3.7%, and then I rolled on their status effect at 10%. It does come with a red mod slot, so 11.8% crit damage is my highest crit damage mod. Next up is the Golden Gear backpack. This one is the Anarchist Cookbook. It is the named Golden Gear backpack. Reason why it's so cool is it comes with Perfectly Wicked. Applying a status effect increases your total weapon damage by 18% for 27 seconds. That is a very long duration for 18%. It is very nice. And you can use that indicator while you're playing just to see that you got someone on burn. Because say someone's running behind you and you don't see that you caught them on burn, but your Perfectly Wicked indicator pops up on your screen, then you know someone's on burn right next to you. Look around, find the ticks, and go kill them. So it's really not bad at all. I really dig Perfectly Wicked. It's a really good talent to use right now. Now as far as Golden Gear for the brand set bonus, I get 10% status effects. For the core attribute, I rolled on their weapon damage at 15%. It came with crit chance at 4% and skill haste at 10.2%. It does have a yellow mod slot, so I put more skill haste on there at 11.2%. Going down to the gloves, these are your firm handshake gloves, named Sokolov Concern. Now, with them being named, what they come with are 15% status effects for a normal attribute. So for the brand set bonuses for Sokolov Concern, I get 10% SMG damage and 15% crit damage. Core attribute, I rolled on their weapon damage at 15%. Normal attribute, like I just said, it comes with status effects at 15%. And then I have 11.5% weapon handling. If you want this pair of gloves, they are selling them at the clan vendor right now. So if you're watching this video today, go to your clan vendor. You have a week to pick them up. These are actually better than the ones I was just wearing by about 2.5%. So it's a great pickup. Now going to the chest piece. Another Sokolov Concern. Reason why I'm using this is because RNG is not the best and I wanted to run Trauma. Trauma I think is key when running a status effect build. Now, we already went over the brand set bonuses. The core attribute, it came with 15% weapon damage. So I rolled on their crit chance. And then it also had status effects at 9.1%. With it being a chest piece, it does have that red mod slot. So I threw on their 5.4% crit chance. Now, Trauma. I think Trauma is vital for a status effects build. Reason being is it doesn't matter where you shoot your enemy, you're going to apply a status effect. So say that your holster is on cooldown, you can still get them on status effect and keep that Perfectly Wicked going while that cooldown is coming back. I think it's awesome. You can blind them, you can bleed them, and your holster will put them on fire. I'm also running a Stinger Hive and a Explosive Seeker, so I am causing them to bleed a lot. And you guys will see, even with a 1 skill tier build like this that is pure DPS, I am still killing people with my Explosive Seekers without even being spec'd into it. It's just because of the status effects. I think status effects are OP as all hell. Anyways, trauma. So it applies a blind to an enemy when you shoot him in the head, cooldown 30 seconds, and then if you shoot him in the chest, it applies a bleed to that enemy for 30 seconds, and the cooldown is 30 seconds. So for this, I can apply blind, bleed, my holster will apply burn, my secondary will apply burn, my skills will both apply bleed, and I have really high crit chance. I mean, it's a no-brainer. This is a great build. Going down to the holster, this is the Imperial Dynasty holster. It took me forever to get it, and I love it. This one comes with a skill tier, status effects, and hazard protection. I only have 9.1% on both of those, and whenever I get more exotic components, I'll probably try to re-roll it to get that max on status effects. Now what makes this holster so damn OP is the Dragon's Glare. While in combat, it applies a burn to the enemy closest to you within 20 meters. That's awesome. And the cooldown is at 35 seconds. You guys remember my Perfectly Wicked is on a cooldown of 27 seconds, and I have Skill Haste on, and I'm running Trauma. So I don't know, maybe 90-95% of the time I am either getting buffed or I'm applying some sort of status effect to somebody and getting my buff. So it's non-stop. Great damage. And then finally, knee pads, Seska knee pads. Reason why I'm running Seska, brand set bonus gives you 10% crit chance. I rolled max crit chance on there. It came with 15% weapon damage, and I have weapon handling at 12.5%. Obviously, I would go away from the weapon handling for crit damage or skill haste or even status effects, but RNG. So yeah, GG game. And that is the build, you guys. This is my status effects crit build. Now the skills, like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm running the Stinger Hive. It only has 1 tier skill. Now PvP damage, it's at 63,512. I have 13 charges. The mods I'm running there are damage 4.6, plus Stinger charges at 4, and it has health at that network slot for 7%. The other skill is Seeker Mines, Explosive Seeker Mines. Again, tier 1, so I have 237,313 damage in PvP. Go to the mods on those. I have damage at the bottom, 1+ clusters, which is irrelevant, and then damage to the left. And let's finish up with the stat sheet. Alright, for my weapon talents, Perfect Vindictive, Perfectly Ignited, Primer Rounds, and then of course my specialization. This weapon sheet is for the Grudge, which is my primary. I have 100,488 weapon damage, 44,214 PvP damage. That's with 60% crit chance, which is max, and 61.8% crit damage. I also have 50% headshot damage. And yeah, let's go to the weapons, or the offensive sheet. I have 85% all weapon damage is bonus. That's with 40% SMG damage. So that's 125% damage bonus when I use my SMG. And then I have 25% AR damage bonus, which gives me 110 total damage bonus when I'm using my AR. Now, as far as the gear talents go, Perfectly Wicked, Trauma, Dragon's Glare are the talents I am using together. That is an insane trio to run. Now for the defensive tab, 704,895 armor with 279,960 health. I have 83, about 84,000 health on kill, 1400 health regen. I have 15.7% hazard protection, and let's see what I have 25.8% skill haste. Now, of course, I would want more skill haste, but I am running a crit build with status effects, so I'm just trying to utilize that to the best of my ability. Now, you cannot find status effects in your stat sheet, so you actually have to count it out. So let's count it out. I have 10% on my mask. I have 10% on my backpack, which is 20. I have 15 on my gloves, 35. Nothing on my knee pads. 9.1, so 35, so now I'm at 44.1. And then my holster, I'm at 9.1, so I'm at 53.2% status effects. 53.2% status effects with max crit chance. This is a great build to run, you guys. The other build I had low crit chance, but I had 61% status effects. And I know you can get well over 70. So just keep speccing into it, use the holster to your advantage, use trauma, perfectly wicked, and you're good to go. It's a killer combo. Now, I am done talking about the build. Now let me go ahead and roll the gameplay footage. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know any comments, concerns in the comment section below. I'm Kamikazevondoom, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Your way.
An agent needs assistance.
There are no more rogue reinforcements.
Agent down. An agent needs assistance. Rogue defender drone detected. Boost about to come online. Rogue stinger hive detected.
Reinforcements are gone. It's up to you now.
Boost online. Allies are acquiring the boost. The boost has been taken by allies.
Victory is yours. Good job.
An agent needs assistance. The boost is being taken by allies. Allies have acquired the boost. Rogue defender drone detected. Rogue stinger hive detected. An agent needs assistance. Rogue Stinger Hive detected. Rogue Seeker Mine detected. Rogue Restorer Hive detected. Rogue Airburst. Rogue Fixer Drone detected. The boost is being taken by allies. Allies have acquired the boost. Rogue Explosive Seeker Mine detected. An agent needs assistance. Immediate medical assistance needed. Rogue Stinger Hive detected.
Claiming the supply drop. The specialization supply drop is in friendly hands.
Agent down.
You don't have many reinforcements left.
An agent needs assistance.
The fight is...
Rogue Stinger Hive detected.